professional revolutionary. His grandfather was a prominent Russian revolutionary who worked with Vladimir Lenin. And in Moscow, a street is named after his grandfather. So he knows well how to organize revolution and how to organize protests.
I would say these are not his people. And I think this is one of the interesting things about this protest movement. He wants to hijack it, and other radicals want to hijack it. I'm sorry, gentlemen, this is called the million person march. There's up to, and I'll be generous, 20,000 people here.
I guess
not
about
a million.
10,000.
Not a million, okay? What I'd like to stress to our viewers, looking at these pictures here, these are the same people that have been marching since the parliamentary election in December. The same people. These numbers are not growing. They're getting smaller, gentlemen. They're getting smaller. And I would posit right here, Kevin, real quick, is that someone needs a provocation to keep this movement alive. Because let's think, gentlemen, logically speaking, this is the last thing Vladimir Putin wants the world to see the day before he's inaugurated, where Kevin and I will be sitting here tomorrow doing the inauguration. So it really makes perfect sense to me. Connect all of the dots. It's very simple.
Actually, Pete, just to butt in, we'll stay with these pictures. Very sad bit of news has just come through. It is yet to be confirmed. We're hearing there's been a death there this afternoon, an accident. A photographer, I'm hearing. This is to be confirmed.
A bystander.
A photographer fell down from a balcony at Yakimanka Street while capturing the opposition march. Apparently he died instantly. It's very sad news. Our thoughts, of course, go out to him and his family.
Well, of course, we will start with the blame game here. Look at these pictures right here. These pictures are not people looking for peaceful change here. We see people that want to cause trouble. They want as much media coverage as possible. I met some Western journalists. I won't mention their name. They were going there today to see exactly this kind of thing. This is what their producers want.
To be fair to the organisers, they're calling this the Million-Man March, but that was across the whole of Russia, not just in Moscow where they were saying that. Do we know anything about the turnout?
Yeah, but Kevin, I mean, it is Moscow and St. Petersburg that count right here, all right? And I want to make sure my viewers understand that I'm for a protest peacefully in the right place. You get a permit, you know. Protesting in Russia is nothing new. It didn't start after the parliamentary election of last year, okay? There have been protests here since the start of the Russian Federation. This is nothing new. People are exploiting it.
Alexei Navalny, an anti-corruption blogger, well-known anti-corruption blogger,
he's been and nationalist. Let's remember that.
Where's he going to go with this, do you think, Igor? How far is he going to carry this on?
Actually, first I would like to say that the people who came to Bolotnaya Square, those are not the same people who came half a year and in December. Because in December there were a lot of people whose agenda had nothing to do with policy change in Russia. Those were people scammed by black realtors. Those were people who were dissatisfied with some absolutely different problems away from social and political agenda. And Navalny and Nemtsov tried to capitalize on them and say, yes, here we can see how many people are dissatisfied with the regime and let's do regime change. And when people understood that their presence is being used, that actually Navalny and Udaltsov are trying to channel their mistrust with some kind of official so they understood that the numbers dropped immediately.
You're going to see even the numbers even drop more. Because this is not the kind of thing people want to be involved with. This is not the kind of participatory democracy, or whatever term you want to use, that people want to be part of. I know many people, very, very close friends, that sympathize with protesting and wanting change, but they don't want this. This is not what they want to be involved with. This is a provocation that will backfire eventually.
So I was going to say, I mean, you've kind of answered what I was going to say there, but will this be noted in the Kremlin? We're less than 24 hours from the inauguration now. I mean,
Kevin, we've been noticing this since it started, okay? We've seen this time and again. Every single major speech that we've had from the authorities that be have recognized this, reacted to it, acknowledged it. Fine. There are radical forces out there. There are nationalists out there. There are radical socialists out there. Put them together, gentlemen. National socialists. Okay. These people want violence.
And we have to understand that for Udaltsov and Navalny, this is maybe the last chance to organize such a crowd, and that's why they try to take most advantage of it right now. Well, for them, it's the last time, and violence is the best way to attract attention.
The after effects of it, we're getting obviously the news lines are starting to come through now. Just to bring our viewers up to date, we're hearing that 6 people have been hospitalized hospitalised after today's protest. As you already know, Udaltsov, Nemtsov, Navalny detained for provocation. They could face up to 12, 15 days under arrest now. And also to just remind our viewers as well, the very sad news we heard that it's yet to be confirmed, a photographer, it looks like, while he was covering these protests today, slipped, fell, don't know, but we hear he died instantly. We'll get more on that, no doubt.
Again, let's make it very clear to our viewers here. There were protests after the parliamentary election for alleged violations. I think there were some. Obviously, in an election of this scale, was it large enough to change the outcome? Absolutely not. But one of the interesting things is that the protest movement energized Putin's base for the presidential election. Now we're going to see Putin's base again energized, because people are going to look at this and say, oh, this is not what we bought into with Mr. Putin, because this was the 1990s. This is the 1990s. People don't want to go back there. Putin will comment on it tomorrow.
Igor Koklov, Peter Lavelle, thank you ever so much. We're talking about Putin's base there. Thank you, gentlemen. Let's head to a little area of that. His supporters out in force in one area of Moscow where Irina Galushka is. Let's catch up with her. Of course, he created the Popular Front movement. That's where people are celebrating. I guess that's what you called it earlier on. Is it celebrations going on behind you there at Poplarnia Hill?
Yes, that's right. This is nothing short of a celebration, as a matter of fact. They have had a concert going on here for the last 2 hours. Now, Putin supporters, of course, are primarily those who are comprising the Popular Front, which is celebrating its 1 year's anniversary today. The organization was formed on the initiative of Vladimir Putin in order to bring together all those who were not participating in any political parties, were not members of any political parties, but still wanted at one point maybe to make a sort of a political statement. Those people were all gathered under the umbrella of the Popular Front. And a lot of them were here today. As a matter of fact, the event is actually already wrapping up. But there were some of them, there were quite a few of them here today. They were hoping to gather around 50,000 people, but it looked like around 10,000 people showed up. Still, they did have flags, and they do have flags and posters there saying victory and Putin together. You have to remember, they are celebrating Victory Day in Russia. This is a very large holiday weekend. So a lot of the festivities, and these are festivities which are taking place here, are also dedicated to the Victory Day. Of course, we do not see any tension or any of the mayhem or any of the confrontation that is going on in another part of Moscow, because people here are primarily those who support the government and everything that is happening in the country right now at the moment.
All right, thanks for that. We'll be coming back to you, of course, throughout the course of the evening. And there's more at RT.com as well. We're bringing live feeds, as I mentioned a bit earlier on, of our cameras trained on Bolotnaya Square, and also where Arena is as well. Let's take a look at some other news now, shall we? It's D-Day, and France's tightest and most acrimonious presidential